Hey guys!
Alright, we're here today to check out a Patreon request from this patrona right here. As to check out Every Time I Die with the song Map Change. Nobody's ever requested this band before, so I don't know, I feel some trepidation.
No.
And I must say, I feel like I should know this band, but I don't. So, well, I've heard of them on the ether of the internets. I've heard of the band, but I don't think I've actually sat down and listened to one of their songs.
Yeah, when I read this band's name, I could just think of As I Die from Paradise Lost.
First thing that I thought about was arcades. You know what I used to do? I used to put a stack of quarters on top of the arcade so that as I'm playing and you die and you want to continue, so every time I died, I would put another quarter and I would continue from the point that I am so that I could try to get to the end of the game. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. Man, that was amazing. You would walk into the arcade, there would be normally it was this old dude at the booth, and you would give him like a $5 bill, all in quarters. And he would give you like a thing of quarters, and you would just put it there. Would also tell people that want to play the game that you're not going anywhere. So get the fuck away and just go. I don't need you looking over my shoulder every single move that I'm making. Because sometimes people would do that so that you would like kind of lose your concentration, die so that they could play the game. So if you put a nice little stack of quarters there, it kind of tells them you're not going anywhere.
I will not lose my concentration this many times.
And you know where I would put them? I'm from the time where people would smoke indoors. So the arcades had a little ashtray on the pad.
So you put them in the
I would put them in the ashtray so they wouldn't fall off, because as you're touching the buttons and moving, it would be easy for the quarters to just kind of fall all over the place. So I would put them in the ashtray, because people would be smoking and playing, and then they would put the cigarette there in the little ashtray so that they could do like something else, and then they would pick it up again. I'm from back in the day where people smoked indoor. Man, when you would walk into an arcade room in Portugal, like you couldn't even see the arcades. It was just fucking smoke everywhere. And I remember my mother used to have, and my mother thought that the only people that hang out at the arcade rooms are drug addicts. I don't know why she had that. I mean, a lot of them did, but, let's not judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
I used to love going there. And then when I'd come home, my mother's like, you were at the arcades. I was like, no, I wasn't. You smell like cigarettes. Okay, fine, Mom, I was there.
That gives it away.
I was there, fine. Fuck it. And I think you had to be 16 and older to play. I think there was an age limit. I remember there. Yeah, there was an age limit. But we knew the guy there, so sometimes. But if the police came and you were of underage, like they would get fined and you would get like in big shit too. So oh my god, those were the days. Anyways, Every Time I Die, Map Change. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this up.
It's supposed to be cold here. It's goddamn buffalo. People need to learn how to do it.
The locusts keep their rhythm. My
I love it that I'm talking about my experiences in my small town Portugal
And
at the arcade, and the whole song is about like small town USA kind of. Well, it's about Buffalo, but small town USA kind of going into like kind of dying out. By the way, we've been to Buffalo. I mean, not like sightseeing or anything like that. Is there any even sights to see in Buffalo?
I have no idea.
But we've been to every time we kind of go through the U.S. By car, we kind of pass by Buffalo. It's kind of our gateway into the U.S. Growing up in Portugal, watching American movies, sometimes you see people like warming up around those barrels, those metal barrels, like oil barrels, and they're like, warming them. I've seen that in movies, but I had never seen that in real life until we made a wrong turn coming from Cleveland through Buffalo, and we end up like in this really, I was gonna say this really bad part of town, but I think in Buffalo every part of town is a bad part of town, and there was people like warming themselves up in one of those. It was my first time ever seeing that. I actually had never seen that before. And houses boarded up and shit like that. I mean, we have small towns here in Canada, but it's completely different. Like, it's night and day.
Yeah, we have towns like this, though. Kind of like the way it looks in the video. We have some, but it's not as...
I don't think it's as prevalent.
You have to go into, like, a certain part of Canada to really find them.
Maybe, like, around Kitchener or something. You could probably find a few places. But I think there's more life.
Yeah.
There's not like whole sections of a town like completely boarded up and businesses like moved away and stuff like that. I think there's a little bit more life here, and I think a lot of that has to do. It's a really interesting video. I like the song, and we'll talk about the song, but I feel like a lot of that has to do with the business models in certain towns that really lived off of a specific business, like Detroit, for example. They lived off of that specific business that was there. So the father worked there, the mother worked there, then the son worked there, then the grandson worked there, that kind of thing. And when those businesses closed down for whatever reason or moved away, the whole town died with it. So I think there's a lot more of that in the USA. There was a lot more towns that were built around they were not built around the business, but they grew because that business was there and it was booming at a specific time. And then when that business went away, the town kind of went away with it. You know what I mean? So I think there's more of that in the US. It's a much bigger country, but there's a lot more there than there is here. I mean, you're going to see some of those things, but not to the point that you see there, or if you've driven through Buffalo that you see in Buffalo. I just think it's night and day.
Yeah. But I do think there are some towns in
not to that extent.
I think there are.
I mean, they look like that, but they don't have businesses boarded up and shit.
I don't think they have the businesses boarded up, but I think they look like... I feel like
the look, yes. The look and feel of small town, yes.
We've been through a part of town like that before. I can't remember what trip it was.
But it's not like you don't have businesses boarded up.
Yeah,
you don't have like fucking...
It's not to the extent of this.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's close to a certain kind of thing. It's close.
The visual of how the town looks like, whatever.
We're not a perfect
No,
country.
we're not. I'm not saying we're perfect. What I'm saying is, it's not. We don't see the
as much
it's not as much in your face all the time with like cities that are gone down that path. Like, we make jokes about Hamilton all the time, but when was the last time you saw a bunch of businesses boarded up in Hamilton and people warming themselves up around a freaking barrel? Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've never seen it. Maybe I'm not going to the right part of town to see it. Whatever the case might be.
Actually, you're probably going to a better part of town.
But anyways, I think this video really captures that essence, small town, but not just small town, but small town that's kind of dying away from for whatever reason. It's not as vibrant as it once was, and you have that small town vibe to it. I think the video captures that like to a T. The whole high school thing, like how people gravitate towards that high school sports, and sometimes you peak, the peak of your existence is during high school, and then after high school, like you become like a nobody. But in high school you were really popular because you were a jock or whatever. So there's a lot of that in this video. I really dig that from that perspective. It's a really interesting snapshot, a really interesting take and
the song went with it really well.
Even the aggression of the vocals and stuff like that.
Just the melody of the chorus still
I think the whole song is really like it really represents that storytelling aspect really well.
And the song, it doesn't even sound the whole feel of the song. I feel more of the chorus doesn't sound like something that would be put out now. Like it sounds like something maybe not early 2000s, but like kind of like midway, probably around like 2010-ish area. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Kind of throwback, but still with the harsh vocals, keeping it a little bit new.
I also want to say that it's really interesting that it doesn't matter how bad things are in a town. There seems two avenues that people end up taking: sex industry or crime. It seems to be one or the other. When you're left with no other option, those two seem to be the logical steps. The only thing I wanted more from this video was more strippers. I'm just keeping it real.
Less crime, more
less
sex
crime.
industry.
Yeah, exactly. Less chopping up cars, that kind of shit. Like less skateboarding. I mean, this is not a Sonic Youth video, so less of that and more strippers. Come on, let's support the working class. I say.
Exactly.
They're putting themselves through school, medical school, nurses. Most of them are nurses, kindergarten teachers, whatever. Not judging. I'm just saying I'm here to support. I haven't been at a strip joint in ages. Fuck. Do they still do Hooter shooters? How do you know? No, I have no clue.
I know strip clubs. Don't worry.
You've never been to one.
I've never been to one. I know them though. My friend's friends with the owner of one.
Oh
or
god.
DJ.
I know them. I've never been to one. Yeah, you know what? I know a lot of people from seeing them on TV and shit, but I've never met them. Fuck, you are something else. But anyways, every time I die, did you enjoy the track at least?
Yeah, I did. I actually really enjoyed the track. The clean vocals were really, really good. I love those harsh vocals giving more of an aggression, and especially with the video kind of going with it. But then those clean vocals kind of brought me. It brought me to a weird, not a weird place, but kind of like that throwback place I was telling you.
I really enjoy the harsh vocals, the screaming vocals, because I felt like it gave those punches of aggression, of anger that you have built inside from feeling like, you know, you're born in the wrong place at the wrong time, and there's just nothing there for you.
There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it. You're just a victim of circumstances, right? And I really felt like those screaming vocals were the perfect outlet of somebody who feels like they're the victim of circumstances. So
same with the clean. The clean were more of like
the clean was more of an emotional one. Yeah, a little bit more of an emotion.
More of anger for that. It's both the same reason, just different.
Coming from different emotions in different places. All right, this is it for this Patreon request. I guess now I can tick the box that I've listened to this band. Like I've seen them around, just like you. I know them. I just had never heard of them.
Yeah.
So now I can tick that box. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on the video, on our take on the video, on the band. Use the comment section below. Give us your 2 cents, American 2 cents. That's like a Canadian dollar, almost. You can get a coffee at Tim Hortons. All right, let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Take care.
See ya.